Hi and welcome back to the AQA GCSE History, Germany to Democracy and a Dictatorship 1890 to 1945 revision series. This is episode 9 and then we're looking at Nazi propaganda. Propaganda means to spread information that influences how people think and behave. It gives only certain points of views and often leaves out important facts. The Nazis used powerful propaganda to get the support of German people. Dr. Joseph Goebbels was the overall in charge of the Nazi propaganda machine. Nazi propaganda was used to unite the German people and convince them that the Nazis would make Germany strong. Germans were encouraged to hate the countries that signed the Treaty of Versailles. The Nazis said Germany should fight back to get the territory stolen by the treaty. Goebbels created the Hitler myth, which made Hitler seem like a god and a saviour of Germany. This was the cult of the Führer. The Nazis' propaganda also said that Jews and communists were the biggest cause of Germany's problems. One Nazi paper claimed that the Jews murdered children over the Passover feast. The Nazis encouraged a return to traditional German values and the revival of traditional German culture. Goebbels founded the Ministry of Public Enlightenment and Propaganda in 1933. It had departments for music, theatre, film, literature and radio. All artists, writers, journalists and musicians had to register there to get their work approved. The Nazis wanted to surround people with their propaganda. They used censorship to prevent Germans from seeing or hearing anything that gave a different message. They sold cheap radios and controlled the broadcast. By 1939, approximately 70% of the households had a radio, which gave the Nazis a voice in most people's homes. In 1933, only 3% of Germans read the daily newspaper, which was controlled by the Nazis. But by 1944, this had risen to 82%, which meant that the Nazis could decide what to publish in their paper. The Nazis also produced hundreds of films and spread propaganda through posters. These shows the strengths of the Nazis and Hitler and the weakness of the opposition. The Nazis used public rallies to spread their propaganda. The annual Nuremberg rallies focused on leading Nazis such as Hitler and Goebbels. Millions of people would attend these rallies, and they were displays of flags and lights, making Hitler look even more powerful. Sporting events like the Berlin Olympics of 1936 were used to show off the wealth and power of Germany. However, success of non-Aryan athletes such as African-American Jesse Owens undermined Hitler's message. Nazi power was also shown through art and architecture and grand new buildings appearing in the Nuremberg and Berlin. The Nazis promised an empire that would last 1,000 years based on traditional values. Modern art was banned and replaced with paintings that fitted the Nazi ideology. German composers such as Wagner were celebrated, but musicians who were Jews and jazz music was banned. School textbooks were written to make Germans look more successful. Children were indoctrinated with these Nazi ideals. The Strength Through Joy program sought to show ordinary German workers the Nazi regime cared about their living conditions. Surprisingly, it's quite difficult to tell how effective Nazi propaganda actually was. Some historians say Nazi propaganda was better at reinforcing people's existing attitudes than making them believe something different. Many Germans felt angry and humiliated by the Treaty of Versailles, so Hitler's promise to reverse the treaty and make Germany great again were very popular. After the political weakness of the Weimar Republic, people found the image of Hitler as a strong leader appealing, so the Hitler myth was very effective and made Hitler an extremely popular leader. Anti-Jewish and anti-communist attitudes already existed in Germany before the Nazis came to power. The Weimar Republic was seen as too liberal by many, but thought standards in Germany had slipped. These people liked the promise of Germany returning to the traditional values. The Depression had left many people in Germany in poverty. This made them easier to persuade, and Nazis promised to help the extremely popular. If you want to find out more about the events that happened at the Berlin Olympics of 1936, there's a very good short documentary published on YouTube by the United States Holocaust Museum, and I'll link that for you in the description below. So that's the end of episode 9 of the AQA GCSE History, Germany, the Democracy and Dictatorship 1890 to 1945 revision series. Next episode we'll be looking at living in the Nazi terror state. Thank you for watching and I hope you enjoyed.